Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, and good night. We welcome you to Deep Dive. This is our webinar for today, and the date is Tuesday, January 23rd, 2024. We are so honored and blessed to have you with us, and we are starting this webinar with a wonderful tune. It's called In It to Win It by one of our global ambassadors. Sister Lerato Shadare Prosperity is the name we call her. And this music comes along with a lot of effects on it. So I'll just call upon you to watch and see what's going on when the music is playing, the nonverbal communication images. So I'm going to call on our sister, our host, Queen Sister Dr. Patience, to play In It to Win It by Lerato Shadare. Over to you, sis, and thank you.
We are here, we are on passive. Your next stop is ONPASSIVE.
Stand clear of the closing doors, please.
Wow, that was awesome. Thank you so much, uh, Dr. Patience. Very much appreciated. And for those who must have signed in when the music was ongoing, did you see all the images on what's trendy in our ecosystem? All the various stages of where we've been and where we currently are, and finally the train stop, our unpassive train stop, just for unpassive. Thank you so much. Now we know that when we start this, we have to be in the right frame of mind in each of our webinars that we attend, especially Deep Dive and all our sister webinars. We'd like to put everyone at ease by talking about the mindset. And our CEO has promised us the physical part, which is the monetary aspect of it. And we work on our own mental mindset. And the person who is going to work on that for us today is our one and only Dr. T. And we know who Dr. T is. She's going to talk to us today about the positive behaviors that will help you experience contentment in your life. And this is the first of several series that she's going to share with us. I believe we know who Dr. T is. I will not go uh, too much to share too much about her background, but she is an international inspirational transformational speaker. She is a life coach, empowerment trainer, and a talk show host. And she also has published 4 books. And I will call on you to make sure you try to read one of her 4 books because it will enhance your life from where you currently are to the next stage. But tonight, she is our mindset speaker, and she has prepared something very special and unique for us today. So let's welcome with open arms our one and only Dr. T, who is here to share with us the positive behaviors that will help you experience contentment in your life. And who wouldn't, especially if you are an Impassivian? And she's giving this to us, my dear brothers and sisters, kings and queens. She's giving this to us for free because you are an Impassivian. That is an amazing dedication. Thank you so much for listening. And Dr. T, the microphone is yours.
Thank
Thank you.
you. And you look so beautiful tonight. Debbie, I love your hairstyle. I really do. Keep that up. I love it. You've been looking so grand these last days, these last couple of weeks. Thank you so much. Anyway, I want to thank all of you and say good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. Welcome. And thank you so much for allowing me to have this platform so I can share this message. And I really do hope that this message will be a blessing to you. Whenever I prepare my messages, I always try to look at where I am in my life. And I believe that God leads me to give messages to not only to speak to you, but to speak to me. Like I've told you all before, I am the first partaker of whatever I give you all. So again, I really thank you, and I am honored to be able to be on this platform and share this message with you. Now, I want to talk about the word contentment. As we go on this journey with ONPASSIVE, and it's going to be a fabulous journey. I just want to share with you all that I have been watching a lot of webinars. I get up in the morning after I pray and spend my time in the Word. I get up and I watch the different videos. And I have been so excited. I mean, the future is great. We have so much to look forward to. We really do. But again, as Sister Debbie said, Queen Debbie said that Mr. Ash, he's going to perform the physical. He's going to give us the physical, the money. And I taught you all before that money is the answer to all things, which is a biblical principle. Money is the answer to all things. But after we put all that aside, after we leave this platform and we go our separate ways, who are we? What do we do? What do we value? What's important to us? Are we at peace? Do we have joy? Is there happiness in our life? Do we have contentment? For the last several weeks, Queen JW, Miriam, they've been talking about joy and being the best version of yourself, being able to come out, to be able to see yourself the way God sees you in every aspect of your life. But in order to do that, I want to talk to you about being content, because contentment is actually the forerunner of joy and happiness. Because you cannot experience fully joy or happiness unless you have contentment. Contentment is a state of being. And it's not something that just comes to you haphazardly. You have to work at it. It's something that you have to work at. It's something that you have to make up in your mind that you want to have contentment. Because if you don't have contentment in your life, you will never be able to enjoy the many pleasures that are in store for you, that you are entitled to. So what I want to do today is I want to go over some of the behaviors that will guarantee, that will show you how to be content and how to be able to experience God's best for you in this year of 2024. As you get your monies from ONPASSIVE, you will be able to walk in that, in what you have been ordained and what you are entitled to receive. So we're going to go through this right now. I have a few that I want to share with you today. And as Queen Debbie said, next week will be part 2. So the first area, the first behavior that I want to share with you tonight concerning contentment is you want to look to the future. Look to the future and stop clinging to the past. We have, again, like I said before, we have so much to be looking forward to. We have a lot coming down the pipe. But if you don't have contentment, if you don't understand that contentment is the most important thing, before you get to that, you won't be able to enjoy it. So the first thing you want to do is to make sure that you are looking for the future and that you're not clinging to past events. We all have made mistakes. All of us have had things that come against our lives that maybe wasn't even the fault of our own, but we've gone through it. What God wants us to do right now is to look forward to the future. Look to the present. Don't worry about yesterday. Don't even worry about tomorrow, but stay in the present. Forgive yourself for any past mistakes. Forgive others. Forgive the situation. Begin to see that when you look to the future, that opens up doors for you to really experience your best version of yourself. It opens up times for opportunities that you probably would have never been able to experience if you did not look to the future. When I look to the future, I realize that my past is my past. And I realize that the mistakes that I've made, like I always said before, what did you learn from them? But when you look to the future, that means it gives you a clean slate. It gives you a clean state. Vision board, do that. That it really works. Get a photo album or get you a poster board and just start putting pictures or affirmation, put words on there that you want to see. Begin to see yourself in the future, starting from this day forward. So let go of the past things and look to the future. Forgive. Forgive yourself. Forgive others. Don't hold grudges against one another. Don't do that. And even not just deal with people, but just maybe bad decisions that you may have made for your own life. And sometimes you may have found yourself even bringing that into the new year. Let that go. Let that go. And then you may say, well, that doesn't apply to me. It may not apply to any of you. But if there are people who are watching this on YouTube, or people that you may know that are in your life, that you know that they are holding on to the past and past mistakes, let them know that if they want to experience contentment, they are going to have to let go of the past and begin to look forward to a future. All of us ONPASSIVians, We have a lot to look forward to. It's exciting. The monies that we'll be getting, the things we'll be able to do, but we cannot enjoy it unless we have a heart and a spirit of contentment. So again, the first one is to look to the future and stop clinging to the past. The second behavior is surround yourself with positive influences. Begin to see yourself building that dream team. Build that dream team. If you look at all the different webinars out there, and I look at a lot of them, everyone on those webinars are positive people. I have not heard one person say anything negative. They're dreamers. They're visionaries. They're looking forward to having great things happen in their lives. What each and every one of us needs to do is to build our dream team. And a lot of them may not necessarily be on Deep Dive, or they may not be on Passivians, but you still want to even look at the people that are around you. You want to ask yourself, are these people going with me? Are they going to be able to travel where I'm going? Because if they're not, those are people you want to leave behind, because they are going to be stressors. They are dream killers. Again, you want to surround yourself with positive influences. You want to be able to see yourself going leaps and bounds and doing the things that you have been ordained and sanctioned to do. But in order to do that, in order for you to experience contentment, you must surround yourself with positive influencers. Because I'm telling you right now, change might be scary. It may be scary to do that, but you can do it, because on your way on this journey, you will succeed if you surround yourself with the right people. Remember, it's a chain. You're only as strong as your weakest link. So if you're around people who are not visionaries, and they don't want to do anything, they don't want anything, leave them alone. If you're going to find contentment in this life, you must surround yourself with positive influences. The next one is welcome change. Welcome change. Life's all about changes, big and small. And if you do not decide to welcome change, you're going to stay in your comfort zone. And what you're doing is you're stunting your growth. And it's like Queen JW said, you will not be able to experience the best version of yourself. In order for you to experience the best version of yourself is to welcome change. In fact, you need to chase it down. Don't wait for it to come to you. You chase it. Make up in your mind that there's certain areas that you've been holding on to that you know that you need to change. Do it. Take a detour on purpose. Don't always go the same way. It's just like when you're traveling. Have you ever been, you all have been in this situation, I know, when you're traveling, you're driving in your car, and you always take the same route when you're going somewhere, the same route. And then you see this sign that says detour. I know you all have been there. And you might feel a little nervous, a little antsy, not because you can't read the signs, but it's like, oh my goodness, I hope I don't make a wrong turn. I hope I understand the detour. So you're driving along, and then you turn this way, you turn that way, and it takes you in a direction that you don't even know about. You've never even been that way before. But when you follow the detour, what happens? You end up where you're supposed to be. And that's what change does for us. That's what change does. When you make up in your mind that you are going to take a detour, go out of your way to go another way. Say, okay, I'm going to do it another way. Because sometimes the way you've been doing it hasn't always been working out. You know what they say about insanity. When you continue to do the same things and you want different results, but you don't get different results, that's insanity. That lets you know that, hey, it's time to welcome change. It's time to switch up. It's time to grow. It's time to explore new things. And that's how you become content, when you know that you can make changes and you can welcome them. Again, chase them. Chase the changes down. Do something purposely different and see what the outcome would be. Make the sound decisions when you make these changes. I'm not saying go out there and just do things haphazardly. I'm not saying that. But take the time and think about the changes that you want to make and strategically take the steps to see them change. So again, the third behavior is to welcome change. The fourth behavior, this is so important. Don't be so materialistic. Don't misunderstand me, guys. I know that we're going to have monies coming in, and it's nothing wrong Dr. T is not saying there's anything wrong with having material things. We want material things. You deserve material things. But you and I both know that there are people out there that's all they focused on is materialism. But you want to focus on people. And you want to value good memories. That's the way to bring contentment in your life. You're never going to see anybody with a photo album with nothing but cars and fine homes. You see in your photo album, you have pictures of people, your children growing up, your grandchildren growing up. That's what we should be looking at. But you'll find some people, they don't care about those things. They don't care about spending time with people and building relationships and building memories. All they want to do is have the fine cars and the fine homes and the nice clothes and the jewelry. And again, it's nothing wrong with that. But priorities are not in the right perspective. And if you want to experience contentment in this life, you have to put focus on people and moments, things that are memorable, and not all the material things. I recall a time when I went to Nigeria. It was the most wonderful experience of my life, Lagos, Nigeria. I had a chance to see how the richest of the rich live and the poorest of the poor. I met some fabulous people. I even had a chance to speak in Nigeria. That was a wonderful experience, wonderful. And for the first time, I had Chinese food at a Chinese restaurant in Nigeria. I said, "Oh my goodness! I know, Vinny. I know, Dr. Vinny. What? Yesterday, I had Chinese food. I had Chinese food, Queen JW, in Nigeria, an authentic Chinese place. Do you think I'll ever forget that? No. I had a chance to spend time with my family and my friends in Nigeria. I was there for a whole month. If I never go again, I will always have those memories. What can replace that experience for me? And I'm pretty sure all of you can think of things that you say to yourself, what can replace it? Don't be materialistic. Those things are tangible. Those things are perishable. But watching your grandchildren grow up, JW, watching your children and your nieces and nephews grow up and become strong, powerful, and successful men and women, what can take away from that? So if you want to be content, if you truly want to be content, stop being materialistic if you are. And if you aren't, don't ever start. There's nothing wrong with having nice things. But make sure you put your focus on people and moments, because that's what's going to leave you peace. Because when you stand before God, He's not going to ask you, how many Ferraris did you have in your driveway? How many gold chains did you have around your neck? How much money did you have in your ONPASSIVE wallet before you died? How much did you have? He's not going to ask you that. He's going to say, whose life did you impact? Did you see how your grandchildren grew up when you're responsible for them becoming who they are today? Your children. Who did you help along the way? Who did you tell about me? How many times did you go in your pocket when you got money from your wallet and give it to somebody, a young woman who may have been struggling with her children? How many times did you do that? He's not going to ask you, about your big fine home, your big mansion that you bought. How many plane trips you took? Do you have a private jet? He couldn't care less. So those are the things that God wants to look at, and those are the things that you should be looking at. If you want to find contentment as we go on this life's journey, focus on people. Focus on those memories. Put the material things aside. I'm not saying they're not important. I'm not saying you shouldn't have them, but they should not be the thing, the driving force in your life. And you already know, you and I both know there are people, the driving force in their lives are material things. But that's not us, Deep Dive. That's not us, ONPASSIVE. That's not us, Queen and Kings. That's not us. And those of you who are watching on YouTube, that should not be you. So if you want to have a life of contentment, make sure you focus on people and moments. Form connections with your loved ones. Build those memories. And that's how you find true happiness and contentment. The fifth behavior. Hang out more with your friends and your family and let go some of that screen time. Avoid excessive screen time. Those digits, we always have those electronic devices, our phones, our tablets, the TV. Let me give you a scenario. And I'm pretty sure you may know about this, okay? You're at the dinner table, and everybody at the dinner table has a phone. They're not talking to each other. They're on the phone. I see you shaking your head, Queen Jackie. I see that. They're on the phone. They're not talking to each other. You're at the dinner table having a wonderful meal that somebody took the time to prepare, and you're all sitting in your own individual seat, and you're watching your phone. You're watching the game. You might be playing video games. You might be going through TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, whatever other social media platforms you might be on. But instead of spending time with each other and get to know how the person's day was that's sitting next to you, you're spending time on your phone. And I promise you, that's a very lonely place at the end of the day, because you just spent an hour or two at the dinner table instead of learning about what's going on with your children, with your spouse, with your grandchildren. But you can tell me everything that's going on Facebook. You can let me know everything that's going on TikTok, but you can't tell me what your grandchildren are into. You don't know how your husband or your wife is feeling about the day. So at the end of the day, that certainly is not going to leave you feeling content. And it certainly is not going to allow your loved ones to feel content, because they realize that they are in competition with a digital screen. Something at the end of the day will have no value. So hang out more with your friends and your family and avoid excessive screen time. And the last one that I want to share today, the very last one that I want to share today, is to stop worrying about things out of your control. I don't know about you, but I'm guilty of that. I know Dr. T is guilty of that. And sometimes in our mind, if you can relate to what I'm saying, sometimes we create these scenarios in our mind, and it's not even that way. I mean, it's so far from the truth. It's so far from the truth. It's not even going to happen that way. But you're sitting there worried about things that you have no control over, like the weather. You have no control over whether or not it's going to rain or snow. Unless you have a direct line with God and you all control this thing together, then that you might have control. But for the most part, we don't have control. But we'll spend most of our time worrying and being anxious about things that we cannot do anything about. You cannot change people, but you can change yourself. You can't change people's attitudes, but you can change your attitude. You can't change how people react to different things, but you can change how you react to certain things. So why worry about what you cannot change? Those are stressors. Those are distressors. When you find yourself worried about things and clinging to things that are not even important. In Philippians 4:6, I'm going to paraphrase this for you. God tells us, don't be anxious. Don't worry about anything. Don't be anxious for anything. But if it's bothering you, take it to God. He said, with prayer and supplication, make your request made to him. Give it to him. If it's bothering you that much, something that you have no control over now, if it's bothering you that much, then take it to him. But take a deep breath. Count to 10, count to 20. Take that deep breath and breathe in, breathe out. And let that thing go. Let it go. Because right now, whatever you're worried about, if you're not here, what can you do about it anyway? How many times do we spend countless days and hours concerned about what our children are doing, our grandchildren are doing, our spouses doing, people, our co-workers are doing, people in the world, what they're doing, especially if you can't put your hand in it. And I'm not saying don't turn the TV off and don't know what's going on in the world. A lot of people do that. They'll just turn the TV off and they'll be oblivious to what's going on. I'm not saying that. That's ignorance. You don't want to put your head in the sand because you want to know what's going on. But pray about it. Give it to God. If there are things going on in the world that concern you and they bother you, then give it to God. That's how you take control of that. But for you to sit here and worry about those things and stress yourself all out, concentrate on you. Like I said, the last several weeks, we've been talking about self-care. Concentrate on bettering you. Concentrate on being the best version of yourself. And stop worrying about somebody else not being the best version of themselves. Those people who didn't want to decide, who decided they didn't want to be a part of ONPASSIVE, don't worry about them. Don't worry about them. They've had their chance. Those people who have not even migrated over to the ecosystem, don't worry about them. They haven't even bought the OConnect. Don't worry about them. See, sometimes that's a distressor. You get stressed out because it's like, wow, I'm trying to get you guys to come and buy OConnect so you can start getting money when they start releasing, allocating traffic, and you're not part of the game. Don't worry about it. When you start buying your nice things and traveling and doing great things in the world, they'll see it. Don't worry about it. So stop worrying about those things that are out of your control. If you just apply the first 6 of the behaviors that I'm sharing with you, I promise you'll be on your way to experiencing contentment. So what I want to do right now is I want to go over the first 6. I'm going to do a recap of the first 6. I'm going to share the other ones next week. So the first one, again, is to look to the future and stop clinging to the past. That's the first behavior. The second behavior is surround yourself with positive influences. The third one, welcome change. Number 4, put your focus on people and moments. Don't be materialistic. Number 5, hang out more with friends and family and avoid so much screen time. And the last one for the night is stop worrying about things out of your control. When you decide and make up in your mind that you're going to be content, then you will be able to welcome joy and happiness because they're all related. And you'll be able to experience the finer things in life, which are those things that are what? They're intangible, but they're not perishable. And when you stand before God and he says, well done, my good and faithful servant, you'll understand because you've done the right things and you have things or memories that you can go back into your back in time and say, this is what I did, and I know that I made an impact. Materialism, not spending time with family and friends, worry about those things you have no control over, that's for somebody else, but it's not for you. So begin to apply these behaviors to your life and begin to become the best version of yourself. Thank you so very much for letting me share. I'm Dr. T. Have a good night.
Wow, thank you so much. Those 6 aspects that you just shared, I was making notes and reflecting on myself, reflecting on my family, reflecting on my friends and people that I've known throughout my life from birth to present. And each of those aspects is touched and very dear to heart. And I don't even know how to prioritize. And I'm sure it's the same thing with each and every one of us, especially change. I have witnessed that a lot of us do not want to welcome change, regardless of what it is. We're locked up in our tiny cocoon. We believe in that we do not want to move anyway. We want to just stay there. And that is 50% of it. And then the other 50% is in the materialistic aspect. You cannot say one thing or the other. It's very, it personally, it's very complex. It's a complex situation. And I know only a divine intervention will come into some people's minds to change. But in the based on your presentation, that outstanding, awesome presentation, Dr. T, you have done it for today, and I cannot wait to see what you have for next week. I see hands up, and I know that there are several other speakers who would like to share or comment on your presentation before we move on. So I'm not going to say anything any further. I will say I have 2 hands up. Dr. Benny is going to present tonight, so I'm not going to ask her to call on the hands unless she really wants to, but I know I want to ask her to do one thing afterwards. So let's call on Queen Tony, and after Queen Tony, it will be Queen Violet, and then Dr. Benny. Queen Tony, please, over to you. Thank you, Dr.
Can
T.
everyone hear me?
Yes, we can.
I really enjoyed that, Dr. T. I saw. Well, I'm working on a lot of all six, and probably the other six, but I know that um, it's a blessing, because sometimes we want to look in the past. And I know I'm guilty of that, looking in the past and fretting over what should have happened and all that instead of looking to the future. And on passive is giving us a future to look forward to. And and then not every like Queen Debbie was saying, not everybody is looking forward to change. That's the hardest thing, is to change. And so I know that those two, and then worrying about things that we have no control over. And as you know, Dr. T, that's another thing that I need to change. So I thank God for your presentations, how they've touched my life, and pointed out the things that I need to change and I need to enforce. And like I said, I thank God for you.
Thank you very much, Queen Tony. I appreciate you.
Thank you, Dr. T, and thank you, Queen Tony, and appreciate that comment. Over to you, Queen Violet.
That was a very, like, really made you, it's really going to make you think. And I went to my endocrinologist today, and she basically said, I'm surprised you're not dead. And so there are going to be changes. Exercise, what I eat, and what I think. And also, I do need to move. So that's on my list. And I'm starting to recognize who my friends are, and we are encouraging each other. With my church, from 6 till 7, we have prayer, and everybody who comes on the Zoom prays, kind of thing. So you learn what is important to other people and be able to help them achieve it. And that's about it. I could talk forever, but I'm good. The presentation was phenomenal. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Queen
Thank you,
Violet.
Queen Violet. Thank you, Queen Violet. Thank you, Queen Violet.
Oh, I forgot one
I
thing.
forgot one thing.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
When people come
When
over
people
to
come over
dinner
to
or
dinner
something,
or something,
they leave their
they
phones
leave
at
their
the door.
phones at the door.
I will
I
not
will not
tolerate
tolerate
someone on the
someone on the
phone or
phone
with a
or
book or
with
a
a book or a
magazine or something.
magazine or something.
It's gone.
It's gone.
Okay,
Okay,
thank you.
thank you.
Queen Jackie, kindly mute yourself.
Queen Jackie, kindly mute yourself.
Okay, thank you, thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes,
I hope
yes,
so.
we can.
Yes, yes,
Okay.
we can.
Okay, good evening to all. Thank you, Queen Debbie. Thank you to all the leaders. Thank you to the brand ambassadors. And most of all, I just want to say thank you, Dr. T. You nailed it. Let me tell you, contentment is very important because I remember, I think, I don't know where, somewhere I heard it, that if we content with little, we will be blessed with much more. And so content plays a major is the most important aspect in our lives. I could tell you the truth. So Dr. T, so thank you so much for those six, I think it's six of them you shared with us. And the first one, letting go of the past. That is something a lot of us tend to hold on to the past, but you don't get anywhere because you don't grow, and it almost like it's stifling you. And and when you're around people, you can tell if they're holding on to the past by just what comes out of their mouth. So it lets you know where they're at, and if you're able to help them to look towards the future, see what's in front of them, what much more than what the past can offer them. The future can give you so much. It's much brighter. The past, it's just almost like that story in the Bible when Job's wife looked back. She was supposed to keep looking forward, but she turned and she looked back, and there's nothing back there but pain and sorrow. So let go of the past and hold on to the future. And that's very important. Number one, that Dr. T brought to for our understanding, for our knowledge, for our information, and surrounding yourself around people, positive people. That is so important, because you could have have a whole bunch of friends or associates, I call them, but not one of them is there to lift you up. And you tend to be lifting them up, but never want to say, let me lift you up. And if you find that one person, hold on to that person and look for more like them. So surrounding yourself around people, positive people, is very important. And coming to the webinars is one way of surrounding ourselves, at least around positive people that's going the same way we're going. And number three, welcome change. Sometimes we don't want to welcome change, but we gotta open our arms to it and welcome it, because change brings it could bring so many things. It brings good things. It brings positive. Yeah, it might be a little ones that you might not like, but you know what? You got to look at the bigger picture. Change is good. Change is not bad. You don't want to stay in the same place, like Dr. T said, and doing the same thing and not growing at all. Some people live in the same neighborhood and never move it out, or never, like she said, go to the other side and find out, well, let's see what's on the east side. Some people stay on the west side, never go to the east side, because they're not thinking about change. They're just stuck in their comfort zone. But we got to unstick ourselves and open our arms to change. Welcome it, like Dr. T said. Family time and friend time is so important, because when you sit back, as you get older, and you sit back and you have some memories, you have something to laugh about, and you will have some friends that you can call and hold hands and go out and have a coffee. So it's so important to be building those friendships now, because we're going to need them for later. And stop worrying about things. And I know a lot of us, including myself, is guilty. Sometimes I worry about things that doesn't. My daughter said, "Mommy, that don't even make no sense." And it's true. Sometimes when you look it over and think about it, it's like, yeah, you're right. It really didn't make no sense. And sometimes we make our own anxiety. We make our own sickness, because worrying brings sickness. It doesn't bring good health. It deteriorates us. It makes us angry. It makes us sad. It brings depression. So worrying, throw it out the door and give it to God, and stay focused and keep on moving on. So Dr. T, thank you so much. And I can't wait to hear about the rest of them next week. Thank you so much. You're amazing. We appreciate you.
Thank you, JW. Thank you, Queen.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Queen.
You're welcome.
And oof, uh,
That is good.
thank you, Dr. T. And Dr. Benny, over to you.
All right. Well, the first thing I did not know, they have Chinese. Never mind. Thank you. Thank you so much, Queen Debbie, for giving me this opportunity. And Dr. T, say something. Thank you. So, see, I didn't know much about contentment until I found something. that the most important thing about contentment in the Bible, before I proceed to say something to Dr. T, I want to take this special moment to thank our Heavenly Father for bringing all of us today, this evening, this morning, and this afternoon. The reason why I am saying this is because it is not easy. People are leaving the world every blessed day. A cousin of mine just told me that her friend's brother died yesterday. Come on now. When you step out of the building, you don't know whether you'll be coming back or not. Do you? We don't know. That is why before you leave your house, say thank you to our Father. We don't see him, but I know that he exists. There may be a lot of people who don't like when I talk about our Father. I know there are a lot of organizations that don't care, but ONPASSIVE does. Our CEO say that all the time. Even Brother Matty, yeah, and Mr. Chris Johnson, they talk about God. Remember, he was traveling. I mean, I don't know what make him to be driving during the snow, but I make him to understand that our Father is watching over him. Because he believed in God, he is now heading to Florida. Thank you, Father. I pray that God should take care of each and everyone all over the globe. I'm not praying for me. I don't want to be selfish, but I want our God to take care of each and everyone. 8.1 billion plus. He created all of us in his image. There is no need to be faking around, but I know that he exists. And I just want God to take care of our CEO, guide and protect him. He always said he's facing challenges, but he loves it. He made that statement that either I do or I die. Come on now. I don't know if you guys have ever heard from any CEO saying such a thing, because God talks to him. Why did God choose him? Because he is determined. His main aim is for the humanitarian work. That is the main aim of our CEO. Despite the fact that I am here for security, people don't care about, well, some people care about church, but in that fake way. All right? A lot of people don't even like security, but security will deal with them if they don't focus on it, knowing that there are a lot of cyber crimes, hackers out there doing everything to hurt us. People don't care, but time is coming. That time, don't call me. Anyway, I want to say extraordinary, inspirational speech or mindset, Dr. T. Ford. I want to thank you. I don't know if there is any other webinar that talks about the mindset or inspirational speech. They need to start doing this because you guys are setting us, our mindset, so that when the time comes for us to receive these dollars, we will know how to handle it. I know how to handle my money. I know. Whether there is mindset or not, I will do it. I know I can do it. But there are some people that they don't. And I really want to thank Dr. Derek for this webinar. I believe I call it webinar, right? Anyway, Dr. T, I never knew about contentment. You make me to understand it is an inner state of peace. I didn't know that. According to the Bible, it is the inner state of peace. Now, it also means having our focus on the kingdom of God, serving him, not on the love of money, because we all love money, right? But we have to love him for who he is. Well, the reason why I came and I was smiling, because Dr. T talked about Chinese, that he went to Nigeria, and you guys know Nigeria can do anything, right? they can do anything to survive in this world. And they're selling Chinese rice. Chai! I need to go try it. But anyway, Dr. T talked about that we should focus on our future, not the past. Dr. T, most of the time I do focus on my past. I focus on my past for what has happened. I know that I have to focus on the future, but sometimes if you see someone that is irritating you, right? Even though you want to focus on your future, but you still see those irritation. Those people are still there, coming. So what do I have to do? And then you talk about screen sharing or something, excessive screening. I noticed that when people are eating, yes, they do focus on that phone. Maybe sometimes, let's say if you are a mother or a parent and it is time to eat, cut off all the phones from the children. Let them focus their mind. Let them first of all pray, eat, and then wash the dishes. Then they can go out and they can now, after they finish eating, maybe they're eating. No, after eating, hopefully they must have done their homework before they eat. Then from there, they can go play with their phones. And when they're eating, they should not talk. No talking when you're eating. I don't care whether you're a child or you are a grown-up. Don't talk when you're eating. Focus. I know I do have, I'm going to be presenting very soon, but I want to thank Dr. T for what she has done. And we pray that she will bring more information next week. Dr. T, thank you. We all love you.
Thank you very much, Queen Dr. Benny. I really do appreciate you very much. Thank you so much.
Wow. Thank you, Dr. T. And thank you to everyone who had a comment or observation from Dr. T's 6-point presentation today about contentment. That was outstanding. And as always, you know what I'm going to say. You nailed it, Dr. T. Because when I listened to Queen Tony and Queen Violet, as well as Queen JW, before Dr. Benny, I knew that something was going to come out of it. But I just want to conclude by saying this. It's very difficult to shuffle things down anyone's throat if they do not want it. Right? You have the food on the table, but the people who are sitting on the table will have to eat it. If they don't want it, will they eat it? Will that contentment be there? Will they be fulfilled by eating whatever just because it's there and it's the family time? It's an open ended question. So, that being said, we thank you. Yes, we've had our mindset for the day. We are very grateful that we have Dr. T to share this with us today. And we are definitely looking forward to the next one come next week when she has to share the reminders of her contentment continuation, which she started today, because today we just heard part 1. Now, you heard Dr. Benny say something about cybersecurity. Yes, we are here in our ONPASSIVE journey. And with artificial intelligence, there are certain things that you cannot ignore. Just like in life, you have to be sure that your safety is well secured. When you're leaving your house, what do you think will happen if you get out of your door, regardless of which part of the world you're living in? You go out, you do not close the door, you do not lock it up. Regardless of the time of the year, regardless of the weather, if you leave your door open and you come back, are you going to find it the same way? You know what the answer is. That means in artificial intelligence and the cyber world, in information technology, you've got to stay protected protected. Protect yourself from the unknown, just as you protect yourself from your home, from safety about anything and everything you do in life. And tonight, the person who is going to talk to us about staying protected is our First Lady, Queen Dr. Benny. And this is part 4 of her presentation in 2024. And for all of us who are here, we're 37 of us here, and we're from different parts of the islands and other uh, other parts I see that we have in the house here: Jamaica, St. Martin, Canada, Nigeria, US, Belize, and the Cayman Islands, as well as the US. We're here tonight to listen to her. When Dr. Benny has been with us in this platform several times, and I want you to know that she is one of the best to share with us the importance and the relevance of staying protected when it comes to our information technology, because she holds the highest level of training, PhD in information technology and information security. And she has certifications in all those areas. So if you cannot listen to someone who is well prepared and has been trained to share with us, and you're here, you're in the right place. So we're going to call on Dr. Benny, the one and only First Lady, to share with us part 4 of staying protected in our ecosystem as we are moving forward to the next step on this journey. Dr. Benny, we're so honored and privileged to have you. The microphone is yours.
Thank you so much, Queen Debbie, for giving me this opportunity. Uh, there are a lot of things happening out there. Cyber crime, internet fraud, identity theft. Today is going to be identity fraud. Next week, hopefully, will be identity theft. We have to be very careful what is happening out there. But a lot of people don't really care. But the time is going to come that if you were not attending this particular webinar, when you cry, I smile. That's how life is, right? Thank you so much. Give me a minute, please. So today we'll be talking about identity fraud. Things are happening out there that we just have to pay attention, right? You pay attention, you look at it, because you have learned, and you'll be able to take care of yourself. All right. So what is identity fraud? Identity fraud is the unauthorized. So something that those people were not authorized to touch or steal or do anything like touch any of your information, right? They are there. They will do anything just to hurt or to harm individuals. So identity fraud is the unauthorized use of a personal information by another person to commit a crime or deceive or defraud that person or any third party. Now, it involves using what? A stolen identity to obtain goods or services by deception, usually through the use of stolen, forged, or fortified deception, fortified documents such as passport or driver's license. Identity fraud is a crime that can result in serious financial and legal consequences for the victim. So when someone steals or misuse your personal information to exploit an account or account you already have. So an example would be like criminals get a hold of your debit card. You guys have debit card, right? A lot of us, some of us, we don't have credit card. Right. Thank you. Okay. Criminal gets a hold of debit card information from a data breach and make purchases with it against your bank account. Now, a criminal gains access to one of your account via a phishing attack and misuse the phone, otherwise misuses the access associated with that account. Have you guys noticed that, let's say somebody will steal your information or steal your debit card, right? And they notice that you have a lot of money. They will just go and purchase online, or they can just go, let's just say, go to Walmart and purchase a lot of stuff, something that they have never bought in their life. That, remember that they did not have money. So by them stealing your debit card, they will do what it takes just to purchase anything that they want. But the good thing is that our bank, they have insurance, FDCI. They do have insurance. That is the good part about it, that they can still help you pay your money back because of what has happened to you. So this is what happened. You have identity fraud in the news. Now, as for identity fraud, individuals' cases of fraud don't always make the headlines, but that's not to say you won't hear about it in a couple of different ways. So the first way may be news stories about data breaches, where hackers, as you know, you guys know, I've been talking about hackers, right? They gain things like names, emails, and payment information from companies or organizations. You know about Chipotle, right? A lot of us go, some of us, since some of us cannot cook, we just have to go to Chipotle to purchase food. Then you have T-Mobile being the recent example. Now, that information can then end up in the hands of fraudsters, who then access those accounts to drain funds or make purchases. Can you guys believe that? Yes, or make purchases. Things are not going the right way. All right. So on a smaller scale, you may know someone who has had to get a new credit or debit card because theirs was compromised, perhaps by a breach or by mistakenly making payment through an insecure website or by visiting a phony login page as part of the phishing attacks. This can lead to fraud as well. So we do have types of identity fraud, right? So some of us will know what it is. It's good for us to just know and be careful. You have identity fraud. Identity fraud is the use of someone else's personal information, right, for illegal purposes. So you have, like, as I told you guys about the credit card, you have loan or lease fraud by applying for loan or lease with someone else's identity, which is not good. We don't have to do that. Then you have phone or online or utilities fraud. Now, setting up phone or utility services with someone else's identity, it is not good at all. So we have account takeover fraud. So this is when someone gains access to your account without your permission or without your knowledge. Now, creating a strong password and safeguarding your private information is your first line of defense. I told you guys about the password, right? I believe I shouldn't repeat it, but it's occurring every day. Now, using a multi-factor authentication can also help to protect your login information and prevent account takeover fraud. Now, if someone breaks into your bank account, they could withdraw money, transfer funds, make fraudulent transactions, find their way into other accounts. Seeing accounts activities you don't recognize is a red flag, right? For this type of identity theft. Here you have credit card or debit card. So now, if your debit or credit card is stolen, the perpetrator could use it to drain your bank account or rack up the debit into your name. The latter could hurt your credit or cause a tremendous amount of stress. And you will want to dispute the fraudulent charges with each credit card company. You have the right to place a security freeze on your report with the main credit report agency, right? You have TransUnion, you have Equifax, and the rest. But if the fraud took place with your debit card, be sure to notify your bank right away. I think, most of the time I don't really go and check my account. But I think it's time for me to just, like, every other day, I just check to see how much I have in my account, because you don't know who is out there trying to steal your money. Keep in mind that you can still be a victim, even if you never lose your debit or credit card. Now, a fraudster can do plenty of damage with your card number. Guess what? Your expiration date and that CV, the CV code, or should I say the security code. If they know it, then they will want to use it. So we have to be very vigilant with what is happening out there. Now, can you guys believe we have online shopping fraud? Oh, yeah. Online shopping fraud. With the online shopping fraud, this type of theft, it's happening in one of the following ways. So, like any identity theft hack into one of your online shopping accounts. Now, if someone gets into your Amazon account, for example, they could use your safe payment method to make unapproved purchases. You use an unfamiliar Wi-Fi network. Now, a criminal could set up seemingly legitimate network with the intention of stealing the information of anyone who connects to it. Now, it's wise to do banking and online shopping on a private network. Have you guys heard of a mortgage fraud? I never knew about that. Mortgage. So for the mortgage, borrowers, some of us are borrowers, right? We borrow money to pay. When you want to purchase any house, you don't have the money, but you have to go to the bank, right? You borrow. So you have the borrower and the lenders that can both be guilty of mortgage fraud. So it happens when someone deliberately lies or deceive a mortgage underwriter or other party involved in processing a home loan. Now, that may relate to funding, purchasing, or ensuring a mortgage loan, right? So the best way to avoid mortgage fraud is to be honest. You have to be honest and work with a reputable professionals and review all the loans document carefully. Do not just go and be signing when you have not read perfectly, line by line. Mortgage fraud can also occur if an identity theft or steals a homeowner's social security number or gains access to their mortgage account number. Now, this could use the information to take out a home equity loan or line credit. You have home title fraud. A lot of people, I believe you guys know that the time is coming that all of us are going to be purchasing our own home, right? So I believe maybe bringing this will make you to learn, to know what is going on, so we can be very careful of what is happening and be ready. So for the home title fraud, it is when someone comes into possession of your property title, right? Now, then it uses other personal information to transfer the ownership into themselves. Now, they could use your home equity to take out loan and line of credit that they never repaid, which could lead to foreclosure. You might prevent home title fraud by periodically checking your home information with your county's deed office. Now, if you receive mail at your address in someone else's name, or stop receiving your tax bill or mortgage bill, those could be a red flag for you. Oh, man. Now, you guys notice we talked about Internet of Things, right? Internet of Things. You have home titles, you have Internet of Things, fraud. Now, your phone, for when it comes to Internet of Things, you talk about your phone, you talk about your laptop and home appliance that might all be connected to each other. Now, that can certainly make it, make your life easier, but it's also a vulnerability point for the hackers. Now, if there's a security flaws in the internet connected device, your personal data may be at risk. Now, securing your home wireless network is a good place to start. Now, make sure all your devices that are connected to your network have strong password. It still boils down to strong password. You need to have a strong password that has alphanumeric with special character. It should be at least from 10 character and up. Please. but based upon our recommendation from the National Institute of Standards and Technology, as well as Amazon, you need to change your password every 90 days. You know, I try to play some games with my password, right? I think it was Bank Capital One. So the password that I had before, I forgot that particular password, but I went back to change it, and I used that same password, but I did not recognize. Capital One say, no, you have used it before. So I like the way they are doing things when it comes to security at Capital One. We need to change our password every 90 days. Thank you all so much. It is important for us to take care of our laptops as well as our cell phones. Next, we have employment fraud. Employment fraud. Gee. Now, you may see job posting that sound too good to be true. They might promise the chance to make lots of money without putting much into work. Once you are drawn in, the scammer may require you to buy mandatory suppliers or training materials that end up being worthless. Some employers might also write bad checks or charge your credit card without your permission. Be sure to evaluate every job posting carefully and do your own research to ensure it's legitimate company. Check customers and employee review, as well as any complaint with the Better Business Bureau. So that was employment fraud, right? And next we have unemployment. A lot of people in this country, they are unemployed. So we do have criminals. Criminals could steal your identity and use it to collect unemployment benefit in your name. You might learn of a fraud when tax season rolls around and you receive IRS form 1099-G. This shows unemployment compensation you receive and any federal income tax that was withheld. Unemployment benefit are considered taxable income, which could trigger a tax bill. Now, you can report unemployment insurance fraud through the U.S. Department of Labor. Hey, you guys have noticed that there are a lot of problems when it comes to crypto, right? A lot of people on Instagram and, different companies, they are bothering people when it comes to cryptocurrency. So when it comes to this crypto fraud, cryptocurrency like Bitcoins and Ethereum are real digital currencies that are powered by blockchain technology. Scammers have found many ways to exploit its popularity. They might try to convince people to buy fake cryptocurrency. Now, I know some of us, we want to do everything, just to better off our life when it comes to money. The reason we are doing this is because our 9-to-5 jobs is giving us headache. You have bosses that are giving us headache. But first, we really want to thank our God that we join ONPASSIVE. With this cryptocurrency, you don't know who is who. People may be convincing you to join, and you don't know that is real. So some of them will pressure you because they are pressuring me. I make them to understand that I have my own business called ONPASSIVE. If you want to join mine, fine. But I am not going to play with cryptocurrency because I don't know it. Maybe I will find someone. Sometimes you don't really trust people, right? They will pressure you to transfer their cryptocurrency into an investment manager who can grow their wealth. Now, they will pose as a love interest who asks to borrow cryptocurrency. Now, they will also threaten you to share your personal data if you don't transfer your cryptocurrency immediately. Now, these scams typically have a sense of urgency that it is being designed to make you act quickly. Huh? My God, things are happening, and I don't know, we just have to be vigilant out there. As for me, I don't want to spend any dime out there. So the next is keep a sharp eye out. Now you can take steps to prevent them, right? You can also take steps to limit their impact. That it should find you or yourself faced with one or another. I believe staying safe begins with watchfulness. Now check on your accounts and credit reports regularly and really scrutinize what is happening in them. Now consider covering yourself with an act on anything that could look strange or outrage, fishy, by reporting it to the company or institution in question. Yes. So, in conclusion, while identity fraud is serious violation, understanding their differences is crucial. This understanding enables individuals to implement actual preventive measures, promoting a greater responsiveness and flexibility in the face of developing cyber threats and misleading practice in the digital world. So, while identity fraud is serious, identity fraud is serious violation. So this understanding, it enables individual to implement actual preventive measures. Excuse me. Thank you. Sorry. I'm sorry.
Dr. Bennett, grab a drink of water. We're here. Grab a drink of water. We're here.
Thank you, Queen Debbie. I'm glad that it happens when it's almost over. You guys have the references here. This is where I got my information from. I just want all of us to be vigilant when it comes to identity fraud. Things are happening out there. There are a lot of people who don't want to work. They will do anything to hurt others, to steal your information, to hurt you. Pretty soon, you'll be going to jail for no reason. Let us be vigilant. I want to thank our CEO for what he has done to all of us. That ONPASSIVE is the best company in the world. But I know that he knows what is happening and he will do what it takes. So despite the fact that we all joined this company, it is our business. We have to work on it and we have to protect ourselves. We have to be vigilant of what is happening out there. Thank you so much, Queen Debbie, for giving me this opportunity. Thank you, Dr. Derek, Dr. Pat Ajongwe, Dr. John Ajongwe. Thank you all. But most importantly, I want to thank our tech brothers and sisters in Hyderabad. You guys know that they're spending sleepless night, right? Working so hard. I know we are all waiting for the Ashes bomb, right? It is coming. I want to thank our COO, Mr. Mohammed Kamal, our Chief Marketing Director, Mr. Mohammed Nazar, our Professor Susan and her whole media team, as well as I want to thank our brand ambassadors or affiliates. The reason I'm thanking you all, because you guys decided to be patient. It has been stated that the patient dog eats the fattest bone, but all of us have to be vigilant when it comes to our password. Identity theft, identity fraud, internet fraud. People are out there doing everything to hurt us. Please be vigilant. Thank you again, Mrs. McCormick.
Wow, what an amazing evening, Dr. Benny. You nailed it, girl. Woof, woof. You did. You know, um, I'll just have to say, I have been through identity fraud so many times. So I know what you're talking about. And in several of them, I was not at the location where it happened. And they're saying, oh, you signed a document here, or you went to this gas station, and I'm physically out of the country at a different part of the world altogether. And I have the proof because my visa shows that I was here and my air ticket. So the credit card company uses that and say, how can you say it is this? So I'm agreeing with you that we have to be vigilant. But until you have had that experience, it's difficult for those who have not had the experience to understand what you're referring to. I cannot, my 10 fingers cannot tell you how many times I've been through it and have to replace not just my debit card, but credit cards and everything and anything that I have to replace all of them and then have to start all over again. But it is the best way to do. And they say, okay, change every password, change this, change that. Thank you. Thank you. Of all the trainings that you've been doing, these are some of those that we really should be vigilant, because when we start cashing out, it's going to be, this will be what people will use to access our accounts. I don't know how we can reiterate this and re-emphasize the relevance and importance of it, not just to us, because we are 40 of us on this forum, but other brand ambassadors in other forums do not talk about this. And I hope that we can have the opportunity to share this experience in other forums and the people watching us on YouTube can also be able to be part of that. I see that there are hands up, but before we move to the questions and discussions session, we would like to say thank you to our YouTube viewers who have been religiously listening to us at the beginning of the presentation of Dr. Benny's presentation, and those who will be listening in the future. We appreciate you joining today. We thank you. And remember that on this forum, we meet every Tuesday and Thursday at the same hour, and we have our sister forums that meet on other days. So, Sister Patience, if you're here, please. We're moving to the questions and discussions segment, and we want to thank our YouTube viewers, and we're moving on from there on. Thank you.